I'm going to talk about why a math festival. So this is a Prezi presentation. I haven't done many of them, but hope you enjoy. While many of you anxiously awaited Scientific American, I anxiously awaited St. Mary's Math Contest qualifying problem sets. That's St. Mary's College in Moraga, California, and here's their logo. The St. Mary's Math Contest problems were easy to understand, and here I have a couple of them. And in fact, I've handed out a sheet with many problems. So here's just one of them. Study Pascal's triangle and determine which rows consist entirely of numbers not divisible by 3. And I gave a little hint. But I liked this problem because it was easily approachable, that I could work on it without knowing much. I could get started. I had about a month to complete these problems and hand in solutions. Here's another one, and I actually remember this one. This one, cut a 10 by 10 square into 2 pieces that can be fitted together to form a 60 by 7 and a 35 by 3 rectangle. And I found these problems difficult to solve. I have fond memories of my father asking me questions that helped me to understand and solve the St. Mary's Math Contest problems, qualifying problem sets. And here's like a little video of my father. But I'm not going to show it here because I don't have that much time.
Blachman. I was born in Cleveland, Ohio in 1923.
Okay, you can see the rest. It's on YouTube. Though he was legally blind and later blind in his life, my father contributed greatly to my enjoyment of mathematics. I mean, I just remember solving these problems. And in fact, this was the thing I remember most fondly about high school. After he died, I compiled a book that readers can understand how much my father meant to me, and how lucky I was and many other people were to have met him, to have talked to him, to have corresponded with him. I encourage you to find out about him. If you want a copy of the book, if you didn't get one, email me and email me your address. I have some extra copies at home. And here's what the book looks like. And I think that there was one on the table. But I won the father jackpot lottery. When I solved St. Mary's math problems, I experienced the aha moment. But I didn't get that feeling when I did my homework problems. I searched for the St. Mary's Math Contest, and I didn't find anything significant. In fact, I didn't find anything. But at G4G9 at Tom Rogers' house, I learned that Nick Baxter attended the St. Mary's Math Contest and saved his problem sets. And there he is. Thank you, Nick. And he gave them to me. So what happened to the St. Mary's Math Contest? Well, I asked Jim Sotiros, the director, the development director at MSRI, Math Sciences Research Institute. There's Jim. And Jim asked Hugo Rossi, the deputy director of MSRI. There's Hugo. And Hugo emailed his colleagues, and Josh Schucker responded. Josh had heard about the festival because he won this book at a contest he attended in Los Angeles. And so in the book, it describes the contest. Students were given problem sets with 8 to 10 problems 4 times a year and allowed ample time for experimentation and research. So you'll see the 7 of the problem sets. And they not only had to find a reasonable answer, but they had to develop a logically defensible process for solving the problem. And answers were not acceptable unless they were accompanied by a fully developed solution. And in order to get to the contest, you had to get 100 points, and there were 400 points total during the year, and then you could go to the contest. And there were many buses in the Bay Area taking students to the contest in May towards the end of the year. So what happened to the competition? In 1975, the St. Mary's College announced that it was discontinuing the competition. And many teachers were extremely sad about this. I mean, it was a very popular contest. So Lyle Fisher and William Midigovich continued the program, and here I found a picture of Lyle. And they renamed the contest to Brother Alfred Brousseau's Problem Solving and Mathematics Competition, and it continued. And that's part of the reason why I couldn't find it. I was looking up St. Mary's, and that was the old name. Lyle assumed co-sponsorship of the competition from 1975 to 1985. And after that, I didn't find anything about the competition. Well, being a great development director, Jim Sotiros asked if we wanted to resurrect the St. Mary's Math Contest. But we decided we wanted to create something different. There were great things about the competition, and there were things that I didn't like about the competition. And we decided to make the competition something that I would really like. And I figured that there were people like me that would like the things that I liked. So we decided to name it after a woman. We thought of two women. One was Julia Robinson. Julia Robinson was famous for solving Hilbert's 10th problem, and we had connections to her. We knew her sister, Constance Reed, and we knew how to get in touch with her. We also thought of Marjorie Rice, and Marjorie Rice, if you don't remember her, she read Scientific American when her kids were at school, and she read the article on tilings, and then she thought that there were more tilings than were mentioned in the article, and she wrote to Martin Gardner, and she had found some tilings, but she only had a high school math education, and she wrote in her own notation explaining why she found more tilings, and it took a while to understand her notation, and in fact, she had discovered those. So I felt that I should recognize her, so I gave some money to the Museum of Math, and they have some signage and description of her history, so I feel like I didn't leave her behind. But anyway, whoops, I didn't mean to go, I think there's more. So there's a picture of Julia Robinson, and we created problems so participants are likely to experience aha moments. We started off with easy problems so that most people could solve those problems. We allowed attendees to work together because I liked working with my father, and I figured other people would like working cooperatively. We provide facilitators at each table. I figured there were people that didn't have somebody like my father, and we wanted to provide the experience that I had experienced, somebody who could guide, who could ask good questions. We offered time to explore problems, and we tried to create problems where you would seek a logical approach to solving it, you wouldn't just get the answer. And we encouraged girls to attend, and we were very pleased that we get 30 to 50% girls attending our festivals. There are 2 festivals just for girls. We let hosts decide who they're inviting to the festival. So, and here's just to show you what a festival looks like. This is from the Stanford Festival.
I'm a huge fan of the Julia Robinson Mathematics Festivals. I think it's really inspiring and exciting to...
Okay, well, I'm not going to show you the rest of this video because I don't have much time. So you can look at it later. So the Julia Robinson Festival, the first festival was held at Google. We just asked Google would they host it, and they said yes, and they hosted it for 2 years. After the first year, somebody came up to us and said, Pixar should host it. So Pixar hosted the second festival. And we thought, oh, we'll just get a whole bunch of companies to host festivals, but we didn't. But now we have festivals in 16 states and 4 countries. We would like more, so if you're interested in hosting a festival, let me know or email info@jrmf.org. We have festivals hosted at Stanford, Berkeley, Princeton, UCLA, Yale, and many, many other places. And we also offer festivals to disadvantaged youth. And that's it. And there are problem sets with the St. Mary's Math Contest qualifying problems that inspired me to start this festival.